Hello, happy Friday, friends. Today we have chapter 8 of Skeletons Don't Play Tubas from the Adventures of the Bailey School Kids series. But before we go over our questions from Monday, and then I give you the new question, which is actually going to be a little different than normal, we are going to say our Kids on Course motto. So by now, you should know what to do. You repeat after me. You can do it quietly in your head or out loud with those around you. So let's get started. I am smart. I believe in myself. I am a great kid. I have courage. I deserve to learn. Today is going to be awesome. And of course it is because it's Friday, even if it's raining. So, the questions that we had from Monday. Question 1. Where do Eddie and Liza think Claude is from? And they believe that Claude is actually from the Bailey City Cemetery. So, they believe he came straight from the cemetery. Question 2. Do Howie and Melody believe Claude is alive? And currently they do not believe that he is alive, but they are willing to help investigate for their friends. So, I don't actually have any questions for you today. What I would like for you to do is either think about or talk about it with those around you, how you believe Skeletons Don't Play Tubas will end. So what do you think will happen as we continue to read this book? And we are approaching the end of the book pretty quickly. So, talk about that and think about it. All right, Chapter 8, Special Guest. As soon as they got back to their classroom, Liza whispered to Eddie, "How are you going to prove that Claude is alive?" Eddie shook his head. "I don't know yet, but I'll figure out something. You try too." "Shh," Liza said. "Mrs. Jeepers is looking at us." Their teacher, Mrs. Jeepers, smiled her odd little half-smile at Eddie, as if she knew all of their secrets. "I have a wonderful surprise," she told the class in her thick Transylvanian accent. "Our new band teacher has chosen our class to perform at the upcoming fall festival. He asked for extra practice time, and I have agreed." A few kids in the class clapped, but Eddie and Liza slumped down in their seats. "So much for staying away from him," Liza muttered. Mrs. Jeepers flashed her green eyes and continued. "Mr. Belgrave has also informed me that a very special surprise guest will be performing with you at the festival." "Who is it?" Melody asked, with her hand raised. "I cannot tell you that," Mrs. Jeepers said, rubbing her brooch. "If I told you, it would ruin the surprise." "That's okay," Eddie said. "I don't like surprises anyway." Mrs. Jeepers looked at Eddie and rubbed her brooch. "I will give you one clue," she said. "What?" Howie asked. "The surprise performer will play the tuba," Mrs. Jeepers said in her strange accent. Eddie heard a loud noise and looked around. Liza had fallen out of her chair and was sitting on the floor with books scattered all around her. And we can see that Liza has fallen on the ground and the books are all around her. Mrs. Jeepers rushed over. "Are you all right?" she asked, helping Liza back into her seat. I think so," Liza stuttered. "I just felt funny there for a moment." "I know what's wrong," Eddie told Mrs. Jeepers. "Liza hit her funny bones the wrong way." Liza looked at Eddie. "It's bones, all right," she said. "There's nothing funny about it." That afternoon at recess, the four friends gathered under the big oak tree on the playground. Liza was about to cry. "Mr. Belgrave is going to have Claude play at the fall festival." "Don't be ridiculous," Melody told her. "Who else can play the tuba?" Liza asked. "I don't want to play in the festival if I have to play with a skeleton." "Don't worry about it," Eddie said. "I've figured out a way to get to the bottom of this bony business." "What are you going to do?" Howie asked. "I'll explain everything," Eddie told them. Even though the rest of the third graders were screaming on the jungle gym, Eddie was careful to whisper his plan. Howie, Melody, and Liza leaned closely so they could hear. You can see them all talking at recess. Liza shivered. "I hope you know what you're doing. If I hear Claude playing the tuba one more time, I think I'll turn into a skeleton myself." All right, that is the end of Chapter 8. So just remember, we don't have any questions, but I would love for you to either think about or talk about what you believe the ending will be like. And we do have quite a few clues right now, so just try and piece together all of those items, and then we'll see if you're right when we get to the end of the book. Alrighty, everybody, have a great Friday. I will see you on Monday. Bye.